I'm prop maker ZW, and today we will be recreating a life-size Harry Potter head from the ending of the final movie with real lashes, brows and a wig by scanning Daniel Radcliffe's face with the Pop 3 Plus scanner, enhancing the details digitally and printing him out with the Frozen Mega 8K. Recently, I've been collecting a lot of Harry Potter wands and props, and the most significant objects in the franchise were definitely the Horcruxes, which include Tom Riddle's diary, Marvolo's ring, Slytherin's locket, Hufflepuff cup, Ravenclaw's diadem, Nagini, and finally, Harry Potter himself. Many collectors use his glasses to represent him as the Horcrux, but I wanted to take it one step further and make Harry Potter himself. Well, probably more than one step, as you will be seeing in this video the ridiculous amount of effort needed to make him look decent. But anyway, to make things easier, I bought Daniel Radcliffe's life mask from Etsy for a good starting point. I don't think he molded his face for Goblet of Fire, since unlike Emma or Rupert, he didn't have to be tied up and submerged in water, but he definitely did it for Deathly Hallows when his face was totally swollen. That is why I think Daniel's face is a little older than the others, since the movies were at least 5 years apart. Either way, these masks are pretty cool to own. The original idea though was to just paint on this mask directly, but as you can see, the quality isn't the best. Like, one side of the brows is missing, the skin details are washed out, but the deal breaker was the ears not having the curves to allow the glasses to rest evenly at the end, making the entire thing really weird, so we have to find another way to make him with the new Pop 3 Plus scanner from Revopoint. It is an upgraded version of the Pop 3 that is 20% more accurate with very similar accessories, but what stands out the most is the new glass calibration board, which is supposed to make calibration more accurate compared to their older boards. The scanning process is the same. Just place your object on the turntable, download their latest version of RevoScan 5, and you can start scanning. There's a new advanced optical zoom feature that is able to capture more details on the object, and to compare and see if there's actually any differences, I scanned the head with the Pop 3 as well. It's quite subtle, but you can see the eyelids more clearly on the Pop 3 Plus scan, and it even captured the holes on the temple, which is quite blurred out on the older scan, and the details under the chin as well, so I'm very happy with this upgrade. Now that we have this amazing scan, it's going to take a while until we can achieve this 3D printed head with all the details and whatnot, and it starts with transferring the facial features into a base mesh in ZBrush using the ZWrap plugin. There are plenty of tutorials online to walk you through it step by step, and I recommend the 3D Scan Store's free base mesh. Once it's been transferred, we will have to clean things up, like smoothing the eyelid and the seam line where the life mask stops at. One thing that I learned from our Tony Stark project is that the face is actually a little droopy because the weight of the silicone is pushing against the muscles and pulling down some of the features. So we will need to modify things by pushing them back up, like the lips and the nose. I also want to part his lips to make his expression more neutral, and most importantly, we are going to dig the back of the ears to make space for his glasses. To achieve this skin pores effect, it's actually really easy because we can simply apply one of 3D Scan Store's displacement maps and it is done. However, they do not have details for closed eyelids, so we get to put our knowledge on eye anatomy to test by adding in details manually while referring to an image of a closed eye. Adding the wrinkles and more wrinkles layered with some skin bumps, and then more wrinkles to blend it into the rest of the skin details. We did the same for the other side, add in more cuts in the lips, and it is time to fix the eyebrows. The original brows were decent, but missing in a few spots, so we had to start from scratch by smoothing them out and adding back in every single brow, one stroke at a time. I mean, the plan is to add real browns afterwards, which I still don't really know how I want to do it at this moment, but it would be nice to have an accurate guide to follow, so that is what we are doing now. Lastly, we will add in his lightning scar, so that if I mess up the painting, at least the scar is there to show people that he is supposed to be Harry Potter. Alright, now I want to display the head on a stand, and in order to know how big the hole is supposed to be, I will have to scan the stand itself. The problem is that symmetrical objects like this is really hard to scan because the scanner couldn't tell if it's rotating or not. This is where the new global marker tracking feature comes in handy, as it will track the markers on the object first, and after it gets the data, you will be able to do a cloud scan to scan the object successfully. And this is what it looks like. All we have to do now is to cut the shoulders off, insert the stand into the neck, and now we know how big of a hole we are supposed to dig out from the print itself. Then we can do some hollowing to cut down on the weight of the head as well as to save on resin. Place on the support and we can get ready for printing. Ever since I bought the Mega 8K, I have always wondered how well it could reproduce the fine details of a life-size human face. And I'm super excited that we are finally going to find out. It's amazing how we can fit an entire human head on this huge build plate, and I will be using the default settings. It's slow, but I hope that also means that it will print things perfectly. After a day or so, things are looking good. We see a little of the chin, and after 40 hours, we are almost done and it looks super promising. Finally, at 44 hours, Harry Potter is born, and we can already see the nice skin textures, so let's get it off the printer and remove it from the build plate. I really wasn't expecting to put in so much effort just to get it off, but I guess it's a good thing. It means it's secure, otherwise the print might have failed. But we got it off eventually. He's a little sticky from the uncured resin, so we will need to clean him up. Before that, I will cut off the support so that there is nothing obstructing the cleaning process. Then we can use the Wash Mega S to do a quick ultrasonic rinse. Now that he's dried, we can finally admire the print closer, and oh my gosh, he looks so real. Super realistic under the lighting of the Cure Mega S, and it's almost too creepy when it's rotating while curing like that. The good thing is, most of the supports were behind or below, so we don't have to sand too much. To kind of help keep things tidy, I bought a nail dust collector to try and suck up all that nice resin dust. And after a coat of primer, it seems like we have in fact over sanded. Like, the chin area is a little bit too smooth and it looks out of place with the rest of the skin texture, so I had to go back in to carve out the skin pores manually to blend things back together. It's okay, we have props to distract you away from the chin, like Harry Potter's glasses. I bought some knockoff from China that looks pretty close to the original, and it can finally rest nicely on his ears. I also bought a wig. It fits, but it's definitely too long, so I also bought some scissors to trim it, thinking I could be a barber without any experience at all, and it failed miserably, of course. I don't know what happened, but he looks ridiculous. Let's just do what we are familiar with first, which is painting. I marked out where the hairline should be with some tape, then prep the surface with white primer, and we are ready for a base coat of beige. Dry it out with a heat gun and seal it with a top coat, and now I'll be adding some green. Yeah, you heard me right. I tried this method out when I was painting the small version of Tony Stark. Basically, a human face have veins and blood vessels in different regions, which is giving different colors. So I'm just trying to lay down the foundation first, then adding in some red spots. Then we can cover it up with another layer of beige so that it looks more realistic, because they will still show through the beige, kinda like real blood vessels. From here, I'll be adding my usual tan color and then transparent black for shadows, and this is what he looks like. For the details, I prefer to hand brush for more control. like adding more red to some portions of the face and dabbing it out with my fingers. And we can get ready for real hair by darkening the brows with some black pastels and darkening around the mouth to highlight the 5 o'clock shadow. The lashes are straightforward as we have done it before with Gabby Gabby. It's just literally applying fake lashes, slotting it in and gluing the ends. The brows on the other hand is new and it's harder to do because unlike a silicone head where you can punch in the hair to make it look realistic, a resin head is hard, so the only thing I can think of is to glue them on manually, a few strands at a time, then trim them shorter and slowly building it up from there. It took so long to make half of it, I started questioning my sanity, but at least it looks good, right? I took the night off to clear my head and resumed the next day to complete the other side, and now he looks alive. A little too alive I might say, so I'm going to add some battle damage to him to match the look that he had after the final battle. That means dirt everywhere, and of course, fake blood. He bled through his right nose a lot, so we're just going to stay true to the film and add in that damage. Then a little scar on the lips, a bunch of damage around the nose part of the glasses and around his left eye. I don't want to sound like a sadist, but this part is really satisfying because it kind of makes him look more real. Like with the glasses on, he is Harry Potter. The last step, which is also the most dreadful part, is the revisiting of the hair. As you can see, I took off a bunch of hair from the wig and I am left with this, which is actually the back of his hair, and it ironically looks better than the front, right? So the idea is to deal with the sideburns first, then try to blend it into the wig. It would be great if I could just glue these hairlines on, but I am ZW. Of course I'm gonna torture myself by gluing hair strands on, one by one to make it look more natural. I mean, we are reaching the finishing line. I don't want my laziness to be the reason why it looks bad. But after a few layers, I think we are ready to use those hair. I built things up slowly to the top, then put on the wig to mark out the rest of the bald spots. Then we covered everything from the bottom, trimming things as we go, glue, and finally the wig goes on. And after some quick trimming, quick styling, he is almost ready. Just some gloss to highlight his injuries, paint the front of the glasses black to make it more accurate, screw back on the lenses, put it on Potter, and he is done. A life-size Harry Potter head made with the Pop 3 Plus scanner and the Mega 8K printer. It's amazing what we can make from the comfort of our homes now, with all the various technology bringing down the barriers to entry on so many forms of art. I really enjoy making human faces, but I know it's not the most popular on YouTube, which is unfortunate, so a genuine thank you to those who are watching this video because it means a lot to me. And I hope you will be there when I make more in the future.